right, let's go down to Fort Worth. Let's talk to Madison Brown from Chasing Down Madison Brown. How you doing, Madison?
Good. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to talk to you.
Oh, I know. It's been forever.
You're at your house, right?
I am indeed.
It looks like you're in a studio.
Well, thank you. I do what I can to, make things a little nice.
I'm in a studio and I don't look near as good as you. What's that say?
Rob, I think maybe it's time for you and I to have a makeup lesson together.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just let that go. Okay, you have got this great show on RFD-TV, Chasing Down Madison Brown. Now, how long have you been doing that?
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we just wrapped up our 3rd season of doing Chasing Down Madison Brown. Absolutely incredible.
Okay, how did it all start?
Well, I got into this show by way of law school, which is, I think, how everyone gets into entertainment. No, but when I was in law school, my dad had actually started to work with some of these really amazing people in the agriculture industry, producing and writing these family-friendly farm films that, he really wanted to come on board and to be a great advocate for agriculture. My dad grew up on a farm, his entire family, they were all farmers. And so that was something that was really near and dear to his heart. And, I desperately did not want to be a lawyer. So I was like, how can I get in on this? And then Chasing Down Madison Brown was born. And we have had the best time doing it.
Okay. And your dad is?
My dad is Mark Miller, who happens to be the lead singer for a band called Sawyer Brown. He tells me they're popular. I don't know about that.
That's like growing up. I mean, did you listen to your dad's music?
I did, but probably not the way that you would think. Constantly, goodness me, I don't even know how many albums he has out, but he was always recording albums. So what we would be doing is in the car, we would be making sure that the mixes, sounded good, like in your stereo. So by the time the actual album came out, I was sick of hearing any song. And I was like, please, why do we have to keep listening to this?
Can't we put on some Eminem or something, Dad?
I know.
And also, very cool, your uncle is?
My uncle happens to be Peter Brady of the Brady Bunch. His real name is Christopher Knight, but basically I had zero hope of being normal.
I did not know that was your uncle. And there's a segment that you do called Pork Chops and Applesauce. And I'm like, the first time I saw that, I'm like, oh, they're totally ripping off the Brady Bunch, but now it makes sense.
What's for dinner? Pork chops. Pork chops. What else? Applesauce? Pork chops and applesauce. That's swell.
Yes, so he is Peter on the Brady Bunch, which is that was wild to me. I remember they kept telling me that my uncle was on this TV show, and then when I was little, they actually found all the VHS tapes of the Brady Bunch, and so we would watch it. We'd be like, what is Uncle Chris doing on there? Yes, but he too has come on as this great advocate for agriculture, he's very scientific and he loves to research things, very methodical. So he has loved coming on board as a partner as well to really spread, the information that he feels like, as someone that has been born and raised and lived his whole life in California, he was misinformed on a lot of things. So that is what his segment is aimed at, is really informing people what's really going on.
You do have, experience with farming, but this show, is it a learning experience for you as much as it is the audience?
You have no idea. I mean, I had what I thought was a pretty good, decent understanding. I would say now looking at it, it is a very small understanding, but probably more so than a lot of people. Like I would joke and say, I do know what's like the front and the back end of a cow. But I will never forget, we were at the Brennemans, huge, they have a massive, wonderful hog operation. And next thing I know, I am elbow deep in a mama sow helping her to give birth to a piglet. And yes, I don't think anything can quite prepare you for that kind of hands-on education.
Welcome to farming.
Yes. They were like, hey, look, you're here. You have scrubs on. You're up. Here you go.
We've been showing the clip of the robotic dairy, which is interesting because my wife and I literally just a couple weeks ago visited a robotics dairy. So we got to watch it. So I've got this understanding of how awesome that is. I mean, could you believe that that robot was able to find everything and actually milk that cow?
No, I have never been so floored in my entire life as to when they brought me into the robotic milking parlor and I was watching what was happening. I mean, truly and honestly, they had to be like, Madison, you need to talk, you're on camera, because I had no words for what I was seeing. It was the most incredible thing I think I have ever seen. Well, I say that yet because, you know, innovation things are always going to be more exciting, but wow, that was truly incredible.
Okay, what do you get out of this show? I know what the audience gets, but what do you get out of this show?
That's a great question. I absolutely love talking to people and I love making new friends. And what I have enjoyed the most out of this experience is I think really helping to tell the story of the modern American farmer. I think there's been a lot lost in translation. You know, when you just look at the statistics of 100 years ago, you know, over 60% of Americans were on a farm, and then now it's less than 2%. So I think that there's a really big communication gap. And I think that somehow these great, wonderful stories have really gotten lost in translation. So to me, I get this extreme satisfaction of making new friends, of having a wonderful time, and to really help them tell and show what they're doing to help feed the American people.
Okay, I mean, your family has a background in entertainment, but have you been trained in like media and this kind of stuff?
Not one bit. I have no idea what I am doing.
You know, it's funny, a lot of times when we're filming this here, they'll say, can you do better? Can you be more like Madison?
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say to that, Rob. I mean, we're the blind leading the blind at this point.
Yeah. It hurts my feelings, by the way.
Well, just don't let them bully you.
I know.
Tell them
that. So what's the plan? What's the future of your show?
We have some super exciting stuff lined up for this season. I am really excited about, including doing some, we've done some really inspiring stories over this last season. Specifically, Wreaths Across America was one of my favorite episodes we've ever done, where we were able to go and visit. They actually make all of the wreaths that go to all of the cemeteries, veteran cemeteries around the country, including that really iconic picture of Arlington National Cemetery at Christmas time. And so I'm excited to incorporate some more of that this season. And then, you know, just continuing to get real hands-on and learn as much as I can.
What would you say is your most popular episode with people?
Most popular? Now that's really interesting because I've noticed on social media, which is kind of, you know, how we gauge anything these days, different episodes so resonate deeply with people for different reasons. You know, a lot of times dairy episodes, you have a lot of people that will comment that, you know, it reminds them of a grandparent's dairy that they loved visiting, or an uncle's that they had a great time going to in the summers. But I would say the one that has gotten the most intrigue was when we went down to South Alabama and we looked at a catfish farm. Because I think truly and honestly, that was the one that floored everyone, because no one really knows what they look like, and they're absolutely gorgeous. It just looks like acres and acres of pristine, beautiful rolling hills and ponds.
What you do takes an incredible amount of work. I mean, it's not just showing up and looking pretty on a camera. I mean, there's a whole lot behind it. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that look at you and think, that's what I want to do. That's what I feel I need to do. What advice would you give them?
Do it. Absolutely, 100%. Do it. Just start. I think that's the most intimidating thing, and that's what I can really get tripped up on is like, oh, it needs to be perfect, or, you know, I really need to have this plan. And no, just start talking to people. Just go with, you know, even something as silly as your iPhone. They have great cameras these days, and just start a YouTube channel, start a social media channel. It's so easy to do that these days, and that is, as you know, with a podcast, I mean, that's how you gain a following and you get people listening. But my advice would be just to talk to as many people as you possibly can, because I think that I love to talk to people and I love to have conversations. And I think that has maybe been my best informal training thus far, is just learning how to have great conversations with people.
You mentioned not having the training. You come off very authentic on your show. You come off polished, but yet authentic. That's very hard to do. Would you think because you haven't been trained that helps?
I honestly think so, because I think that there's part of me that really, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have these like kind of tricks or tips going on in the back of my head. So I just kind of show up and I try to be present, and I just really try to talk and have a great conversation with someone. And that, I think, comes across on the screen the best, because people want to kind of feel like they're part of the conversation too. And when the conversation's real, that's the best way to do it. So
where can people find you?
They can find me on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on RFD-TV. And then also we have some fun social media channels. I have Facebook at CD Madison Brown. Always got some fun stuff going on over there. And my website, madisonbrown.net.
And why are people always chasing you?
You know, I'm always on the go. I always got something going on. And so you got to keep chasing me down, because you just never know where I'm going to be.
Well, Madison Brown, thank you so much for being on the show. You're doing a great job for agriculture. You're putting the stories out there, and it's fun to watch. So thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you so much, because it's wonderful and heartwarming to hear that, because that's what we're trying to do. And so it's nice to hear that that is definitely coming across. And I can't wait to tune in and to watch your show, Rob.
Yeah. Thank you, Madison. If you have an interesting or entertaining video or picture and you think the world should see us, drop us a line. www.sharkfarmer.com. While you're there, check out What the Farm podcast and the one that started it all, the Shark Farmer podcast. Catch me Monday through Friday in Rural Radio, Sirius XM, channel 147 at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I know we've had a lot of fun today, but in all seriousness, having an opportunity to provide a platform for those in agriculture is of my highest importance. We're going to keep doing that here on Shark Farmer. We'll see you next week.